Hi, kids. So as the personal project is coming up, due date February 25th, showcase March 4th, I thought I'd make a quick video to kind of help just solidify the last couple things before your projects are due. So just a reminder, basically, there are going to be a couple things that you're going to be turning in on February 25th. It all needs to be electronic, and it all will be uploaded to ManageBack under a calendar deadline that I create here real soon. The three things that essentially you'll be turning in for the personal project. Number one, a process journal. Okay, that journal is going to be essentially, I would like to think it's an electronic journal. If it is a handwritten journal, it's going to have to be scanned. The journal should have many entries from basically the start point to the end point. And each of those journal entries needs to talk about, discuss not only the skills that you're developing, how you're using those skills, what your learning goals were. Are you getting, the stuff needed to get to those learning goals, the product goal, all the things that you're doing throughout the process. You are describing the process from point A to point B, the finish point. Okay. Make sure that your entries are dated, so that they look as if you have been doing them throughout the year, and make sure that your entries are discussing all the things that you've been doing, what you're learning, what you're not learning, any hiccups you've had, issues that you're having, ATL skills that you're utilizing, changes you've made, all of that stuff. Okay. The other big thing that's going to be due, and again, guys, I want to emphasize the report itself is really the big thing that's going to be graded by IB. Okay. It's what your teachers are going to be grading, your supervisors are going to grade. It's what it's what IB is going to grade. Now, they're going to see your product at the end, in the appendix of your report, as you have, provided pictures, maybe videos or whatever. But the report itself is what they're going to ultimately be grading. Okay. That report needs to be somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 words. That report needs to have 3 identified sections which you are writing about throughout the report. Okay. They need to be labeled. The 3 sections are planning, applying skills, reflection. If you want to think of it in this way, you need to put probably about 750 words-ish in each of those 3 sections. Some section may be a little longer than others, but essentially we're looking to get between that 2,000 and 3,000 word count. Now, with that being said, you need to read the guide that is found under the Personal Project tab in ManageBack. Within that guide, starting on page 33, the criteria for each of the written sections is there. And it details exactly what you should be writing about per area of the report, per section. Okay? So under the planning, it talks about, hold on just a second. It talks about state a learning goal for the project and explain how a personal interest led to that goal. State an intended product and develop appropriate success criteria for the product. How are you going to deem that your product is successful or came full circle and as what you would consider a success? Present a clear, detailed plan for achieving the product and its associated success criteria. That starts on page 33 of that guide. And quickly, I'm just going to read to you the criterion for the highest marks within the planning section. It says, the student, 1, states a learning goal and explains. Let me emphasize the word explain. It means why. To give reasons or causes about the connection between personal interest and the goal. 2, states their intended product and presents multiple appropriate detailed success criteria for that product. And 3, presents a detailed plan for achieving the product and all of its associated success criteria. In order to reach or to get the highest marks within the planning section of the report, you must talk about and write about all 3 of those things. Again, starting on page, I'm sorry, I said 33, it starts on page 32. The next section of the report, applying skills. Okay, worth 8 points total. Each of the 3 sections are worth 8 points, 24 points total. In Criterion B, applying skills, in order to receive the highest marks, the student, 1, explains, again, why or how the skills was or were applied to help achieve their learning goal, supported with detailed examples or evidence. Again, you should have selected a couple of ATL skills that you are utilizing throughout your project to help you meet the product goal and the learning goal. How were those ATL skills applied to help you achieve those 2 goals? You need to explain that. Number 2, you need to explain how the ATL skills were applied to help achieve the product goal. So again, how did the ATL skills help you achieve your learning goal? How did the ATL skills help you achieve your product goal? The applying skills written section of the report needs to detail those 2 things. Okay? If you don't explain and you only describe, you're going to fall 1 tier down in the rubric or in the Criterion rubric. In order to receive max points, you need to explain how those skills were used in both the learning goal and the product goal. About 750 words describing that. Quick help. On Mr. Moyer's board, I gave a little, in red, I gave a little information that will ultimately help you guys. I also left the personal project book with Mr. Moyer, and in that book and on the board, on the whiteboard, I detailed the pages that will help talk about the ATL skills and how they can be applied and how you can provide evidence for their application. Do not take the book out of Mr. Moyer's room, but please make sure that you take some pictures. You only need to take pictures of the different, and I would say you need to probably have 2 to maybe 3 skills that you're applying. But again, make sure that you're maybe stealing some of that information so that you can ensure that you're writing about it appropriately. The last written section of the report is the reflection. In order to score highest points in the reflection section, again, 7 or 8 points there, the student must explain the impact of the project on themselves or their learning. How did this project help you develop? You need to explain that. How did it help you learn? How did it help you develop? Make sure that you're explaining that. Number 2, you need to evaluate your product based on the success criteria. Did your product meet the standards that you set for success? Fully supported with specific evidence and details. And again, that evidence is going to be about your ATL skills that you've applied, the product that you have made, the learning goals that you set for yourself. You need to evaluate all of that. Okay? Again, you're looking to get in that 7 or 8 range. To do that, you need to explain and evaluate. 750 words, around 750 words, in order to meet that 2,000 to 3,000 word requirement. Now, with that being said, you guys also need to make sure that you're meeting with your supervisors. You all should have the academic integrity form, okay? That form needs to be filled out 3 times by your supervisor, signed by both of you. That will need to be available and uploaded to ManageBack because it will be sent to IB with your project, with your report, okay? Don't forget the front cover of the report. That can also be found on Manage Back under the Personal Project tab. Okay, that needs to be filled out completely. It will be attached to the front of the report. Let's talk about formatting that report really quick. Your report needs to have standard formatting. There should be 3 identifiable sections. 12-point font, normal font, no hieroglyphics. Needs to be normal margins, things of that nature, okay? Ultimately, guys, I would say that the formatting of the paper is pretty standard. Make sure that you're citing sources. Make sure that if you've taken any information with research that you're doing, that you've cited that in the paper. Okay, that's important. At the back end, we need a bibliography. Any source that you have referred to for information should be detailed in the bibliography. That bibliography should be in MLA style. There's often an appendix at the back end. Take some pictures of your product. If you can't show it in any other way, it needs to be in the back of the report so that they can see your product and ultimately what you've created. That's also important. Trying to think of anything else that I need to talk to you guys about. I'll make some more of these videos. I just wanted to give you guys a quick heads up. Make sure you're satisfying this. Again, your due date, February 25th. Everything needs to be uploaded to Manage Back on that day. March 4th, we'll have our showcase. I'm working on having our showcase available during the day for our kids to see, the other students to see. And then that afternoon, we will have a showcase for parents and the community. Okay, be ready to show off. When you do your showcase presentation, I want it to blow people's minds. Okay. If you have questions, come see me. I hope this video helps out a little bit. I'll see you guys soon. I think the biggest thing is making sure that that written section on the applying skills is tight. I think that's probably the hardest part. Use the book I've left in Mr. Moyer's class to help you out there. Come see me if you need help. Love you guys. Looking forward to some great projects. Talk to you soon.